Hi there, welcome back to the Noah Presgrove case. We're already on the maps this time round. Kind of a map analysis hybrid as I narrate and talk about the case, my thoughts on it, where things are currently, my direction, the community, all kinds of stuff. I've applied this in the past. The interesting thing was when it came to the Dylan Rounds case, a lot of my videos at a certain point in time revolved around maps, whether it be a direct time, map analysis, timeline, phone pings, places of interest, searching about, or just simply narrating over my thoughts. I've not managed to do that just yet fully in the Noah Presgrove case, so I thought I'd apply it right now. Bit of an experiment. You can let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you'd like to see videos more like this instead of me just showing my face all the time. You can let me know in the comments. But this should be a live premiere for whoever is watching, taking consideration that I've done 2 live premieres by now, this being the second one. The earlier video that I did, kind of to do with the case, the community, be sure to catch up on it. A serious issue problem has been addressed and I have responded back accordingly for further awareness and understanding. Be sure to check that video out when you do get time. Top right corner of the screen where the I symbol is, hover over it, click, you'll find the video link along with the playlist, okay? But for those that are watching right now in this video, share your thoughts, opinions in the live chat box on the right hand side and we'll go from there. If anyone does have comments or additional comments I want to elaborate on, leave your thoughts down below under this video in the comment section. You will find a pinned comment by me if you want to support this channel. There are different ways to do so. Big shout out to, is it Angela? I hope I've got the name right. Big shout out to Angela last night for their support on this channel. Very good to see, out of nowhere, big surprise, all positive. But yeah, just wanted to address that first. So, what's my thoughts on the Noah Presgrove case? Where do things lie right now? Is it positive, is it negative or neutral? I mean, I don't know how long it's been now since covering this case. Is it like 2 months, 2 to 3 months I might have been covering this case? One of those situations where as soon as I started, I've been doing a video almost every single day for a few months straight, with the exception of 1 or 2 days not doing it if things got busy, okay? If you wonder where we are right now, we're in the middle of Tyrrell, not Tyrrell, but Tyrrell, for any y'all want to find out, there you go, or y'all, whichever way you like it. I can pronounce it, don't you worry. But this is just to set the scenery. So you get an idea of the area, roughly, what's nearby, the close place to civilization, because take in mind the party house is quite far away from, what do you call it, cities, maybe? It's just in a rural area. I mean, this place here is rural as well, but this is a town. Where the party house is, it's away from the town. It's like a Dylan Round situation. And the further you are away from places where they could have a bit more surveillance and cameras, there's not as much being documented. That's where it falls short within this case, especially when it comes to the footage, whether that be CCTV or Snapchat party footage. Supposedly, there are still things lacking or not been publicly released, or it was publicly released and then it was hidden again. That's what I want to be talking about today. Sharing with you my thoughts on the matter. Should it have been done in the first place? Is it the right way to be doing things? Etc. So that's what I want to talk about. You can react as well and share what you know or what you've seen. I mean, to be honest, this town area, at least here, we've been looking more updated than the old footage, what were over there. The buildings look reasonable. I mean, you compare it to Montello. No offence, Montello did look a bit more run down, but here there's some bigger buildings. Like, look at that. That's decent, that house there. But as I said, hopefully people don't take it the wrong way. Proper buildings, houses. Don't look to be as many trailers as you would see in the likes of Montello, Nevada or Lucin, Utah. And I'm just giving those examples because they're locations that I've looked at extensively. So I do know the contrast between the places of interest. There we go. So, where do we start first of all? Look straight ahead. I'll just give you a bit of a narration. Maybe we can work our way back to the highway. So, welcome to everyone watching right now. I'm still interested in this case, first of all, you know, because I'm still quite fresh. There's been people that have been around since day one. I haven't. Could there be a loss of traction? Could there be a loss of momentum? That's very possible. Let's be realistic, and I'm just basing this off from my point of view and perspective. When I was looking at the statistics, or when I was looking at the inspiration page, the research page on YouTube to do keywords and titles, the volume and traffic for the likes of Noah Presgrove's name was medium to low, which isn't too good. Originally, it was considered high volume traffic for those search term words. It's gone downhill since. In terms of my coverage, it's remained the same, it's remained consistent. But the only reason why I'm able to do what I do is because of the recent updates online. It does help to put things into perspective, to analyse, and the articles and the Facebook pages, it goes a long way. And then the help or the responses and questions being answered by key people within the case or just within the community, it goes a long way. But also take in mind, as I said, I'm fresh to the case compared to other people, so what I may be looking at may be what other people have already covered in the past, and there's no point in them going back over it all over again. But for me, if it's my first time, you know, still got that catching up to do. So there's like is there an expiry date to how long you can go on for when covering a case? Pretty much, because at some point it gets to a situation where there's only so much you can look at as for the latest news and updates, and then as for the theories, the ideas, the coverage, there's only so much you can do. That's a good building there. Because if you go beyond that, where you've run out of ideas and there's absolutely nothing left to cover, but you still keep on going, that could be considered a bit desperate. Not always in the wrong way, but it could be considered a bit desperate, forcing videos out. You should only be making videos and coverage when there is something valid to talk about and relevant to the case. That's what I would say. Do people agree with that? We've got a horse there. Classy, classy. Get your horse back. Anyway. Little car there as well. Sporty one. Oh, that might be the highway. We'll see. But yeah, in comparison with the Dylan Rounds case, I covered it just about close to every single day for an entire year. I went into, from 2022, a month or two after the case of May, I went from 2022 covering the video every single day into 2023, and a little bit, just a little, in 2024. And then onwards in 2024, then I moved on to the Noah Presgrove case. Now, the shocking thing to me was when I transitioned on over, there was a good audience, a healthy amount of people watching, more than towards the end of the Dylan Rounds case. And that's just because of traction. People lose stamina, people get bored of cases, especially if you stick to one and you go round and round and round. Others, regulars, find it interesting and stick around regardless. Shout out to those people and those who are watching right now. I know who you are. That's all good. But it's understandable. It's normal for people to get bored or to move on with other cases. It's understandable if you feel like a case is going nowhere and there's no real traction or progression. You might feel like, well, we're not really getting anywhere. We might as well just move on and look at something else. I get that. But in terms of my style and coverage, I find it easier to stick to one case at a time and go for as long as I can naturally. And I've been able to do that, especially in the Dylan Rounds case for 2-3 years, however long it was, right? And I guess the key thing is, I don't know what that is. That a balloon or something? I don't know what the hell that is, but anyway. The key thing is, with the Dylan Rounds case, I finished what I started. And that's really significant, that you get involved in a case. Yeah, you can do your coverage, you can do your awareness, but what does it ultimately lead to? Are you the one responsible for solving the case? Maybe not. Are you the one responsible for the pure justice? Maybe not. Are you responsible for at least spreading the awareness and being able to hit the nail on the head at the end to deliver the final analysis? Absolutely, and that's exactly what I did. And if it's possible, because there's not a guarantee, that's what I'll try and do within the Noah Presgrove case. Because this is a case I find somewhat interesting because of the terrain, the environment, the rural area. It reminds me of the Dylan Rounds case. Same coloured individual, same age. The nature of lacking in certain evidence, the nature of LE lacking in proactivity. There are a lot of crossovers. Now, I did these crossovers with the Kenny Veach case and Dylan Rounds, and there were some knobs in the background that got very triggered and didn't like the comparisons being made. But the difference, what separates me from most humans out there, when I group things together, I make sure it's quite realistic and there's a clear explanation behind it. Other humans out there like to group all of us together and say we're all in the same boat. No, we're not. Get a grip. We're all different in different ways and unique and not. Right? But with the cases, there can be some overlaps. And the reason why it's important to compare and contrast, because if you've dealt with it in the past and you can apply it to the future, things will be a little bit more easier, won't they? Oh, let me tell you something. Whilst we're here, okay, we're on the wrong side of the field. We got the bulls. We don't have the horses. But I know there's a couple of people that wanted to hear my horse sound. Okay? I don't know if we're going to come across any horses nearby or not. Maybe we'll go back to that field. And if not, I can't find it. I'll probably end up getting lost. I think it was, I don't know the person's name on YouTube. I've forgotten. But I saw it on Reddit where a person called Be Kind said they were disappointed that they didn't get to hear my horse impression. You don't need to worry. Y'all don't need to worry because I got you covered, girl. I'm going to do my horse impression. Don't know why I've gone to this voice, but it's all right. It's goddamn dynamite, man. There we go. Don't worry, I don't do that laugh all the time. It is a bit ew. But we've got a horse there. Classy. What are these horses? Okay, who let the dogs out? Who let the horses out? My God, classy. I better not find out you were responsible because we're going to have some problems. You don't want that. Got it? Yeah. So, you get the idea. Whilst, yes, it's very important to talk about the case here and there, just a bit of lightheartedness. And it's good that people on my channel understand it that way. Because the reason why I'm being a bit more loose as well right now is because of the video that I had to do earlier, which was very serious and an important one. So I had to lock in there. Now I can be a bit more loose, but I'm still going to keep it to the, of course, the case of Noah Presgrove. So like the traction of it, where things are at, the lost footage or the hidden footage, whatever you want to call it. That's the stuff what I want to be talking about today. Additional thoughts, additional opinions, and then we get back on track with some more focused, formal videos, okay? So I might just need to clear my throat, clear my voice and stuff, just got a bit of better performance. But welcome to those that are watching this live premiere. If you do want to rewind back, you can, if you want. But be kind. Some people on YouTube or Reddit wanted to hear the horse sound. I'll try and do it right now. Might not be the best. One of those things, if you don't do it that often, you can lose the ability, okay? We can get there at the rear. There we go. Now, it might sound a bit out of tune, but as I said, I've not done it for a long time. Oh my God, that horse is looking. I'm the horse whisperer, making no sounds. It's looking right at me. I can do a good chicken sound there, if that counts. There we go. So I've never lost that. I can kind of do a rooster. There we go. All the eggs are dropping out left, right and centre. Perfect. Done the pig, of course. There we go. I can do a crow, a bird. There we go. I'm glad to know that it's still all there, even if I'm a bit rusty. This horse is looking at me right now thinking, what the hell are you doing? Okay. I'm sorry, horse. Do you need washing? I heard Classy offers cleaning services. If your tail needs cleaning or you need brushing or combing, contact Cassie. Classy Cassie. I got it all wrong. I'm getting the names mixed up. We've got a tractor there. Maybe a John Deere one from the colour of it. I don't think there's any donkeys nearby, but I did do a phase of the donkey. But I think it's one of those cartoon ones. Yeah, I tried doing a goose at one point. I think it was a mix between a donkey and a goose. It's like a squeak sound. It sounds like it's been run over by a car. I can do the turkey. And the final horse. Yes! That's it. Perfect. See, after a few attempts, you warm up and it's all good. Because I used to do it quite often, it was easier, but I don't really do it now because when is there really a time to do a horse sound exactly? But for anyone that wants anything a bit more wild, I can do like a wild cat. There you go. Ooh, is the temperature getting a bit hot? It is, because it's bloody hot in the UK once again. It's just what I want. The only other one was the gorilla sound. I don't know if I can still do that. There we go. And then what was the grizzly bear? Something like that. Now, with all the sounds out the way, I thought I'd just do that little showcase, you know, for people that are new to the channel, because I did promise a lot previously, and I never got round to doing it. So I was just ticking the list in case anyone's wondering, oh my God, where's the head of the horse gone? It looked like it disappeared. But wherever we are now on this highway, if we can navigate our way back, probably not. But the traction of the Noah Presgrove case, how are things right now? I'd argue and say that the Reddit pages, they've slowed down, but, you know, you can't blame him. There's only so much you can find and retrieve and repost. I must have got it just at the right time because quite a lot of things were being reposted and it was really helpful. There might be a lot of important stuff if you look back as well on Reddit as well. But, you know, just do what you can with the time that's possible. So Reddit has slowed down, no harm there. Facebook, that's still pretty active. Let's be real, it is active. The only thing that has quietened down, but it does make sense, is the whole situation with the likes of, well, like Stevie Howard, Sarah Long, those people who've been, you know, what do you call it, denied access to the Presgrove Army page because it went private. I don't know if it's public now, but it went private, didn't it? Oh, there we go, we turned up the casino. There we go, we're going the wrong way, but at least we found our directions. Look at this, I'm finding my navigations, I'm navigating correctly, I found the place of interest. I'm not even from the place, and yet I've been able to find it. All under control, man, all under control. But it's important because this place does actually play a role within the case somehow with that eyewitness. The cleaner saw 3 guys disposing or putting a hat on a bin which looked like Noah Presgrove's hat. But did that happen in 2023 or 2024? We never found out. But maybe with time, there'd be an update. I wonder if Kathy Bingham did get a hold of the footage from this place from inside. That would be interesting to know. So, yes, we'll have to go back up that way to the party house and make our way to Terrell and go beyond north. So we've got a bit of a road trip journey ahead. So I'll just talk as we're moving along. Now, it's not quite like the normal conventional vehicle because we're static at the moment and we're on the wrong side of the road. Naughty, naughty Raf, but oh well. It is where it is. What does that say? $200 to $1,000 fine for littering. Ooh. And we've seen a bit of litter as well down the highway. Anyway, what do we have here? A pole, big pole, where gas is emitted or smoke of some sort. A couple of those. It goes into a ditch. Now, What would have been more strange? Noah just simply being found on the side of the highway, Noah found in the middle of the highway, or Noah dumped in the ditch by the side of the highway? Because you think of concealment, yeah, you could conceal someone in certain areas, especially with it being rural and vegetation based. That probably rings true as to why Stevie Howard said what she said about, you know, if we was to do it, we would have disposed of Noah properly, which implies that they would have probably buried his body. Littering. But still, it's just not appropriate language wording to be using in a case like that, especially when you're involved in it or you put yourself in the mix of stuff. You can like put a target on yourself, and no wonder why people start questioning, right? And we just keep going up that way, as you know. So the traction of this case, the activity levels may have slowed down in some areas. I'll be honest with you, it looks like the traction has slowed down just a bit on my channel. When I look back to my earlier videos on this case, I got about 2,000, maybe 4,000 views on my videos. Now I'm getting around 1,000 and maybe 1,600 people, which is still a lot, but, you know, being honest, there is a bit of a decline. It's kind of unfortunate, but that might just be because of the timing of it all. I came in late, let's be honest. I came in late, but fresh-faced. Other people came in late, and then some of us may have been around much longer. But everybody has a certain point where they may think, you know what, getting a bit bored, or I've heard this before, I'm going to move on to other stuff. Now, take in mind, my coverage and what I say or what I pick up on I've never been picked up on ever before, and how it's worded and put across and how it can all be linked together, or comparisons, contrasts can be made, can differ. Fresh faces, fresh thoughts do help in a case. Just like the Kenny Veach case, anyone that came on in, especially a channel, explorer, hiker or not, doing their own videos, no matter what size channel there are, it was really good to see. A good example of a person that demonstrated that was Horizon Chaser, I believe. They did their, I think it was them, did a bit of coverage on the case, and that was really good to see. Because they looked at it from different angles, perspectives. They obviously saw things which I didn't pick up on, so it does help. It kind of widens the coverage, the awareness, but also makes it easier and efficient when talking about stuff and picking up and distributing it. Because you can only think and see so much, and then when other people come along, they'll fill in the rest. And especially with the Noah Presgrove case, that's where it's needed most, because there's so many people caught up in the case. There was a lot of people at the party itself, and then ever since, the parents of the parents, the family of the family have gotten involved as well on and off online, which has added to the mix. Okay, it's fair enough that people could assume that, oh, all these other people, they must have been partygoers, but they're not all. They've involved themselves in the case. They've made it their business, even though it wasn't to do with them in the first place, or they weren't caught up in the first place, but they made it their business. So it becomes a little bit problematic, doesn't it? But you can understand in a way, even if it is resistance, that the family of family, friends of friends, parents, sisters, brothers, whatever, would stick up for some of the partygoers if it's by blood, family, friends, to defend them, one another. I get that, but, you know, there's ways of going about defending yourself or someone. You start acting in a threatening way, that can become suspicious. Recent time, people have been talking about the possibility that could Jack Newton's brother, known as Colton Newton, have been the killer or at the party. I'm not saying that. That's what other people have suggested. Not as a fact, but as a possibility. And to be honest, I would say, well, I've not seen any proof or enough proof to say that he was at the party, but just based off his behaviour, his attitude, his threatening language, he could be capable. You never know. Anyone that gets into a tiff, throws the toys out the pram and are involved in the case and say, why are you being suspicious of me? Why do you think I'm responsible? Why do you think I'm the killer? Oh, I'm sorry, because your language, your wording, inappropriate timing, threatening language, it's not a good look. Oh, not a good look, not a good look. It seems to be a recurring line out, doesn't it? Even some of the opposition like using it towards me. For more context, check out my earlier video. It'll explain it all. Yeah. So to refer back to Facebook, the Presgrove Army one specifically, when it became private to protect itself and because of the dark wave and forces of individuals out there, a family of family from the partygoers and stuff, whether that be spreading misinformation, misdirection, confusion, or whinging, whining, whatever it may be, it was considered a little bit problematic. And with that being the case, I guess the community had to preserve itself and retreat, a tactical retreat, if you want to call it that. And then things became a little bit more controlled, measured, and a bit clearer. But what that did, it forced the unsavoury characters to all gather together like a covent under the Sofa Sleuth group on Facebook. So any bashing, questioning, truth bombs, media distributed, it's all over there, and it's in a private group. But every now and then, some people will relay it onto other pages publicly. Whether you call that a spy, an informant, or someone else, yeah, for those inside of that group, they may feel betrayed by someone who's coming on in, leaking or sharing it. But at the end of the day, you know, if there are people within the case and they want to say the truth, or they want to clearly point out who's right and who's wrong and who, you know, Caden Pressey, etc. Oh, we got that wrong, timestamp wrong, timeline wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong, that hat's wrong, how you worded it is wrong. Well, why not just clear it up then? Well, that's what I've done. Yeah, it's over there, it's available. Yes, but it's on a private page, whatever. Where is it exactly? Which post? Well, there's so many comments all over the place, you'll find it. No, not exactly. If it's in a specific place, which is behind a paywall or behind an access wall, you're not going to be able to access it, are you? Right? Interesting. The question that I have, I don't know if anyone can answer it. The Sofa Sleuth group on Facebook. Tim Howard is he the one that created it? I don't know, but I saw his name pop up in it on one of the main pages or something. But is the Sofa Sleuth group the same group that was originally called Noah Presgrove's Army, and it was the fake page? And then they rebranded, rechanged it to Sofa Sleuth. Is that correct? There we go. Answer below if you can, be appreciated. Whoa, look at him. Wait, what the hell? Ah, is that Santa? What's Santa doing on a horse? Ho, ho, ho. Howdy, mister. You want a present? You been a good boy or a naughty individual? There's been a few naughty individuals, haven't there, on my channel? Some very unusual behaviour. We'll see how that continues. If it's like excessive degenerative behaviour, we'll look into that. Is that cafe also open? There's a bit of paintwork outside. Ah, there we go. Is that the gas station? The mini mart? There we go. We got a little tour there. As I said, I couldn't really see the cameras clearly. People said they would be on the building back there. To be honest, if the cameras are on the building and that's set further back, there's a bit of obstruction with these here, aren't there? So you'll see part of the road, but you're not going to see all the way down. For those claims to be made that, oh yeah, by the way, there was zero traffic on that morning of Monday. Yeah, there might have been zero traffic here, but take in consideration, further north up the highway and further down south, there are turn-off points, cut-off points, and different ways to go. So it's quite ignorant to push that agenda originally, but maybe it's just a good example within the Noah Presgrove case that if there's a little bit of truth or there's a little bit of evidence that may support a certain claim narrative, that they'll go as much as they can to convince others and say that's the be-all and end-all. So just because there are some cameras here which have got a limited range, limited distance, obstructions in the way, just because this stretch of the highway had no traffic at all, then that means everywhere further down there and back there towards the casino, absolutely no traffic whatsoever. You can't claim that when you don't have all the other cameras and points of views. You're reaching a little bit too much, you're pushing it a bit too far. But it shows a level of desperation, right? You got a form of evidence and it's not good enough, but you keep pushing it, making it seem better than what it actually is. You're trying to convince people? Why not get a hold of more evidence, more solid material? Like with the Kenny Veach case, okay? Evidence provided. Was it good enough? Pretty good. It was hard evidence, but not everyone was convinced. Okay, well, we'll get some more evidence with time or some more material to suggest a similar theme. That's exactly what was done. Simple as. For God's sake, when I think about it, the Kenny Veach case had even less limited material, yet eventually with time, clawing and scratching, getting a hold of some material, it was doable, it was manageable, okay? Even with such limited resources, limited people present, and it was doable. And a form of key material and interesting stuff was found, and credit to the hikers as well that went out there. Jeff Clark, Sean Horlecker at a point, SB Vegas Adventures, J Chuck Vlogs, J Silverheels, Mystery Hikes, people like that who went out there, and a couple of others too. Really good. And even that couple, that individual that went to the healing store to provide a different point of view of the camera and allowed me to analyse their footage. All very helpful, right? There was cooperation, there was coordination, a smaller group, not too many hands doing the dishes, not too many hands in the pot. It was controlled. But you start looking back to other cases where there could be a maybe higher profile, busier, or maybe they're not that popular, but there's just quite a few people present. What the hell? Why is there a trailer truck on its side? I'm assuming it's a trailer truck because I can see the wheels. Let's just move on a bit. Wait, hold on. Has that been converted into like what someone can live in? So it's like a container unit on its side where it could be used as a shed or storage unit. It's just because it looks like there's wheels still attached on the back end. I could be wrong. It just, maybe it's a bit deceiving. But then again, no, it does kind of look like a trailer on its side. Random. And then, is that a rock? Yeah. Some stuff you pick up on which you never would have seen before. And that there, what's that? Is that like a wishing well? So like been bricked up. Interesting. Maybe for water, a well of some sort. But yeah, let me just refer back to the original theme of Facebook, with certain boisterous individuals going to the sofa sleuth place. There might be less talk, there might be less activity on the Presgrove Army page for the right or wrong reasons, depends how your outlook is. We've had the waves here and there of the interviews all of a sudden, which obviously has been quite hard-hitting and important. Caden Pressey doing his thing, but ever since, the way people have treated him and responded to him in terms of the interviews, taking mine, I did my response. It was somewhat critical, but within reason. And I did a follow-up video where I got to see the 10 minutes of the other part of the footage, which did help a lot. If only that 10-minute footage was used in the whole interview to begin with, would have been a better perspective for sure. But I can only react based off what's in front of me and what's available at the time, so it is what it is. But I guess people went on a bit of a bashing campaign against Caden Pressey. May have been better if different wording was used in other ways to put points across, because you know you can disagree with someone without it leading to full blown out drama or conflict, but you know not everyone can control themselves, and it got a bit messy, and I think that probably impacted Caden in a way. And to be honest, when there's a level of resistance, okay, so even from the point of view of some of the partygoers or parents of the partygoers, family of family, that they might not like what Caden says because they might be worried with the truth, or they may think it's a load of BS, depending on what they think. But by insulting or threatening or calling out, anything like that, if you start pushing people away, they might not come back, or they might just go a bit silent. So you get that lack of voices, you kind of like reducing that awareness. And whatever side you're on, if you want some form of justice or you want things solved, by pushing people away, you're probably going to delay that progress, right? It's kind of like Kathy Bingham. If she was to be attacked, threatened by the odd individual out there, maybe from Texas, what's that going to lead to? Do they walk away from the case? Maybe not. Do they keep things quieter, tucked under the lips? Maybe. Does that have an impact negative on the audience, the general public? Yeah. It's like the classroom situation. You get one class clown, joker, messes up, gets punished, but then the whole class in that room gets punished as well. It's not right. It's not fair. It has a knock-on effect. So like with the Jay Slater case, okay? People suspicious of the family. People think the family were very greedy or still are in certain aspects. And, you know, and then others involved in the case, you push them away, show too much resistance, you might not be able to see them. They might disappear for their own interest, for their own safety, or, I don't know, to protect, cover up something. Sometimes you got to work with the devil, put up with it. That's exactly what I did in the Dylan Rounds case, right? I put up 2 to 3 years worth of bullshit by other disease-ridden humans out there because the case was important and perspectives and understandings had to be acknowledged and looked at to an extent. But then once the case was done, whew, mass cleansing it all away, right? We speak of cleansing. That's exactly what I do. I come on in with purity. I wipe You in the name of Jesus Christ. There, come here, my white boy. Jesus is the way. We are facing forwards north. Show me the way. Show me the way. I'm going to show you the way. Ah, calm down. You calm down. It is all right. I know what I'm doing. The road is a very hard surface, just like my head. But I know who I am. I know what I am. I'm a madman. Anyway, some unfortunate accents leaking through out of nowhere. Another little showcase. We are getting closer though to the place of interest, of course. Now, I don't know why certain angles are blurred out. It must be a glitch. I know in the Idaho 4 case, some buildings were blurred out for privacy reasons or the case itself. But to be honest, I don't know if that street view will ever be updated with Moscow, Idaho, because I don't think it would have been yet, and it would have still been blurred. And it's like, does it really matter? Because the house has been knocked down since, right? John Deere tractor there. Tracks on the side. Yeah, so the party house is just up ahead, over that way, behind the trees. So, in all fairness, cameras, vehicles facing this way, coming up, there are blind spots because of those big trees, those big bushes. The other way down, we'll have a look there. Because that's the interesting thing. Not that it would have been that noticeable, but let's say Saturday, Sunday night. What was the traffic like? At any point, did any locals pass by and see the lights or a big group of people gathering at the house, in or out? Would there have been any noise you could hear being emitted from the location of interest? I wonder. And for any locals watching, you know, this video, if you do hear it of me asking this question, did any viewers or locals watching, did any of you drive by this area on one of the days of the party? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Obviously, you wouldn't have known what was going to happen or the outcome, but did anyone actually pass by it? And if you did you see anything whatsoever? Minute detail, something insignificant? Did you notice, did you see anything to indicate a party going on? Just out of interest, right? There's no guarantee whatsoever. It's probably not likely, but just imagine if you had someone driving down the highway Sunday night at a certain point, the time when Noah supposedly wandered off, as Sarah Long claims and Jasmine Milan has stated. Wouldn't that be very interesting to see where could Noah have gone? Because my question is, which I just want to throw out there, if Noah was known to wander off from the party, how many times exactly? Because the more times would indicate maybe he's a bit uncomfortable where he is, needing to cool off constantly. The whole point of a party is to have fun, right? We got to keep cooling off. Is it actually worthwhile, that party? Is it a good thing? Anyway, from this angle, you can clearly see it over that way. In all fairness, if you are driving on the highway, you're going to be looking straight ahead. You'll be on the other side of the road too. So are you really going to be able to see over there that clearly? Maybe not. Or if you're driving down on the other side of the road, so you look on your right, yeah, you can faintly see the buildings there, but is it going to be easy to see? Probably not. But if it was nighttime, dark, getting to night, yeah, you're going to see the lights on probably, and that big street lamp as well on site of the property. That will stand out to you. But just would have been interesting, would anyone have seen anything? And, you know, whilst Noah could wander off at any point, there are, like, I guess, restrictions to where you can walk. You're not going to be going on the railway track. Probably not. Those fields are fenced off with barbed wire. I'm not too sure. Do we have any examples on this side? See, that's the thing. There is fences there, barbed wire or not, but it's mixed in with the vegetation, so it could be quite deceiving. You tried running through that or jumping over it, you could get tangled up. I just want to see, do we see any of the fence? And there we go. Is that barbed wire? I think it probably is barbed wire. Just like the Dylan Rounds case. So wherever there is barbed wire can prove as a bit of an obstacle and even a deterrence. Would Noah Presgrove think, oh, I'm going to wander off, I'm going to walk over one of the fence lines properties, one of the fields, I'm going to climb over it? I don't think he would think of doing that or want to do that. So based off where you could wander off, you're limited, aren't you? And maybe this is the time where we zoom out just for a bit, click that off. We're looking in the same direction as we were, just flip it down that way. Look at that road. You can go up, you can go down. Can you go left or right? Not really, because you see that fence line or the bushes runs all the way down, right? So you're limited. You probably could get onto that field down towards the bottom, like where that road meets, that dirt road there. Is that a dirt road, or is that more like a dried up pond area? Could well be a dried up pond. There's a couple of them. Take in mind, with the street view or the satellite imagery updating, certain colours of the ground has changed. It's become more lush and green. When I looked at the time, it was a lot more worn out and dirt type terrain. So it has changed since. Quick question, the people that are at this house, or if they're not at all, who maintains all of the fields? Who cuts the grass if it's needed, or who just maintains the landscape? Do any of the partygoers help out or not, out of interest? Look, you look at that building there. Okay, maybe it was at a certain time, doesn't apply anymore. But whenever this was done, supposedly it was worded as this was the spot. That trailer there, or a trailer, which was once there, was where Stevie Howard, the mother to Avery Carter Combs, was staying at. Why would the mother stay in a trailer, a downgraded place, when she could have the opportunity of being in the main house? I wonder, I don't know, maybe for her own space and privacy, but nevertheless, at some point she was supposedly here, living in Bowie, Texas ever since, okay? Avery and Carter have moved on from this party house. So what, you tell me about this party house? This house no one lives in anymore? So what's the point of just standing there and other buildings nearby? What's the point in having these properties and these buildings if they're just going to waste and building up cobwebs with time, right? It was interesting. Don't know if anyone saw it, but in the comment section, well, not comments, it was the live chat, a couple of days ago, someone was talking about the parties are still ongoing at this house. Who by and when? Where? Well, not where, but when? And was it recent? I don't know. I don't think they answered my question. Unfortunate. But this is the place, supposedly, that the week after Noah's death, that the following weekend, another party took place. Justin Roy mentioned it. I think Caden might have touched upon it. But it was the likes of Brooke Bounds Carter that was stating it didn't happen. Were they at the party to know? Were they at the location at the time to know whether it did or didn't happen? Not from the looks of it. So it'll be from what they've been told. And is that good enough? Third party, not from the horse's mouth directly? I don't think it's good enough, I'll be honest with you. You know, what Caden Pressey says about this and that timeline, whether you agree with it or not, at least it's coming from the horse's mouth, from his perspective. A witness, a person that was actually at the party at the time, right? Obviously, if Isaac was able to speak, or Brylan, people like that who were alongside Caden, if they all individually said the same thing or very similar, that would be very good for consistency, providing it's done naturally. Now, I don't know what the age ranges are of Justin Roy and his family, a family that were down there at the party at the time. Have they been interviewed, yes or no? Or are they of the right, suitable age to be interviewed? I don't know, but you know, just little components along the way. And what I haven't really noticed, yeah, there are bits of resources or equipment on the side here. When you look at that, whether it be piles of logs, wood, objects. God, the more you zoom in, it's almost like the Dylan Brown's case, looking for things of interest. Now, if you were looking around the location for places of interest, you know, what's here, what's there, what's been buried, what are we actually looking for, right? You're not looking for a body. Body was already found on the highway. What about the hat? Missing. Golf clubs bag? Missing. But not likely to be here because they were supposedly moved away and taken to round the back of Jack's place where the scrap pile is. Where does Jack Newton live? I don't know. The exact location? I don't have that. Now, this is the thing. If it's not of public information, things could get very messy. You know the way people react, so defensive in this case. If it was of public knowledge, then it wouldn't be as bad. But it would have been nice to do a map analysis, not of Jack's place of living, but the scrap yard, the scrap pile behind his house. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that right now. I don't know if it'll ever be possible. But just to look at it from that perspective. But yeah, golf clubs bag supposedly found there, wherever that is, away from here for sure. Maybe north away. But when retrieved after, or when people went back, it wasn't there. So it was moved on once again. Probably gone for good, possibly. And that's obviously a shame. So we wouldn't be searching for golf clubs here exactly. Any other possible murder weapons if it's on the basis of a crime, a murder situation, a homicide of some sort? Well, if golf clubs may have been disposed of for that very reason, and if there were other items used in the possible beating, death of Noah, they could have been disposed of as well, but spread about elsewhere. The hat, missing. Jack's hat, missing. Any other items missing? Wallet? I don't know. See, I think there might have been a checklist at some point, but can't find it now. But today is better confident and know the situation at this moment in time. What items are still missing? I'm aware of the hat, Jack's hat as well, the golf clubs now. What other items are truly missing? Items that were at the party, items that were on Noah, but no longer. Where did they go? Unknown. But if we at least know what items are still missing and additional ones, could try and form or make sense the location or the pattern of where they could end up. If one item was possibly disposed of, any other items caught up within a situation similar could have been disposed of equally. But as for where they were taken, it could differ. If it was spread out, or if it was disposed of by different people, different places. When you look at ponds, water, you think, could something have been dumped in there, submerged in, weighted down? That's what we thought in the Dylan Rounds case, or suggested. Interesting how in the Dylan Rounds case there was such an obsession with the pond of Lucin. Yeah, phone was found there, but what else? Not much more, was there? But people were convinced there's more to it, there's more going on. It didn't really lead to much more after that, let's be real. So you look at the Noah Presgrove case, are there any locations which are overrated or looked into too much? I don't think so. Because it's just the party house that's mainly been talked about. And that makes complete sense. This is the origins, this is the beginning, the end. This is where it all started out. This is where Noah was last seen, supposedly. So it's right to focus in on this area. But it would be nice if there was more focus given to this building here, right? Okay. Anyone in this building at the time of the party, September 4th, September 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 2023, the party, was this house used for a party? Did anyone stay in it, live in it at the time? And then the same with down here. Okay, this might be outdated or it might not apply relevant to the time of the case, but you can clearly see that there's vehicles parked outside, so people were living here or staying here at the point when this footage was taken. Was anyone in this building? Was it ever used during the party with Noah Presgrove? Yeah, we can say that this is the spot, this is it. But there are buildings nearby, and that's what makes it important. Okay, Brooke Bounds Carter can say within so many miles or distance that there's no one else living nearby or there's no other properties, but on that same damn road at the party house, you got building 1, building 2, and maybe 3 if you want to include the farm, the barn, and building 4 or 5, okay? So there are other items, there are other places of interest nearby. The only other one that stood out to me was further down this way, which was it this one here? No, I think that might have been the rundown combine harvester. That, like a pen. This one here. But I don't know if people would live here or not, because I don't know, it's just more of a place where people work, farm, ranch. I didn't see any vehicles. It doesn't look like a house, but I could be wrong. But the distance of that, would it allow me measure? Maybe we ought to change the measurements. Near to a mile in distance from the closest building compared to the party house place. And then beyond that way, there's really nothing, is there? That's like a quarry over there. Let's go into Texas. Over there. Nope. Further down this way. And it just goes on and on and on. And by the time you do finally find a building, a house, a place of interest, too late by then, right? Yeah. One of these. It's like similar to near to the Lucin, Nevada border change. Like, is it called a power station overhead lines station? Still, nothing down there. Covered all that distance from over that way, looking south. So let's make our way back to where we need to be, roughly here. Face north, we're facing north right now. I notice there's a few dots on the grass, little patch marks, whether that's significant or not. These spots could be buildings, could be items of interest or bags. But, you know, with the Dylan Rounds case, that was crazy. All the little details and fine stuff which you could see on the ground and grass. Not that it directly linked to the case, but at a time of when we're trying to make sense or little sense of what was present. You know, we're looking at everything possible to understand the situation here. Are people focusing on the fields, the pond area when it comes to Noah Presgrove? Probably not, and it would be understandable because if the body is found on the highway, you'd be focusing on the road leading up to the highway and vice versa. If you'd be looking at the surrounding area of this property, what other reason would there be to do so? Noah wasn't there, or at least his body wasn't there. But anywhere on this property site or this extensive land, could any of it tied in with the death situation or the wandering off earlier on? Oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. It looks like some kind of building or structure. Does anyone know what that is? It's within the trees. Is it a tree house? Or is it an actual like building shed? This thing can look a bit obscured. Oh, get rid of the street view. Don't want that. Accidental. I noticed that unfortunately there's no 360-degree imagery. Sometimes people will upload their own custom photos onto Google Earth and then you can like zoom about. Do we have any examples nearby? Wow. We don't. So no one actually uploads custom images. That's really disappointing. Considering all those party goers with all the phones and cameras and documenting this and that, I'm surprised I didn't at any point upload 360-degree imagery. Surprised. But yeah. So we talked about the traction situation. Things are slowing down in the case as for certain platforms or areas. Statistically on my channel, it's gone a bit quiet. That's unfortunate because I've only been here not for that long, but because I joined late. By the time I get here, people may have moved on by then. So like if I was covering this case from literally day one early on in 2023, yeah, it probably would have been a bit different. And then once we got to this point now, it probably would have been explosive again in terms of people coming back. Now, granted, in the future, if I'm still covering this case and there's breaking news, it could suddenly cause more people to come back and show up. Who knows? But I'm only saying this in advance. Right? It's not the complete end of the world just yet, but the aim is to spread awareness, and I'm not able to do that. Well, I'm failing as a channel. I'm just failing in general. I'm not meeting the correct target. But nevertheless, as long as I'm already involved in a case, if it's like a sinking ship later on, well, too late then. I'm already covering the case. I'm still doing videos, so it doesn't matter. I think it's just more so when you first get involved in a case and it's really quiet and not much is going on and you think, well, practically it's not really going anywhere, so what can you do? You can only do so much. Just so happens with the Noah Presgrove case, it's still pretty active. But if it does slow down anymore, I'll probably still make videos regardless to keep the awareness. But if it ever got to the point where there was absolutely nothing left to cover, then obviously I'd be doing other stuff as what a normal person would do with other cases or other directions elsewhere. Just wanted to share the thoughts, opinions, but also what to expect in the future, because I've seen it with the Dylan Rounds case, the lifespan there. The same can apply with Noah Presgrove, okay? Both cases are equally in the same position where they've needed attention, awareness, maybe a documentary or a news crew to spread it, to get that width, to get that depth, so more people learn about the case. But this is the thing, awareness is good, but what does it actually lead to? if you were able to spread awareness in which you get people interested and then they get engaged, they engage themselves within the case and learning more, that's obviously a lot better than just simply handing out a flyer and say, hey, look, here's a little poster, here's the case, read it, and then they do, and then they just move on, just like that. If you can cover something, present something, and it actually brings people in for a certain length of time, that's even better, right? Because there are times where you could be covering a case and indirectly you encourage or you bring in the right person at the right time with the correct resources, and then that could help benefit the case. I know about that because in the Kenny Veach case, my map analysis actually brought people in, actual hikers that used some of those map analysis and went out there hiking successfully. Partially because of my map analysis, okay? I'm not even from the place, not even been in the area, yet my map analysis actually helped real-time hikers out there to an extent. Okay, so like when humans along the way online have said, you know what have you done? You know, what have you contributed? Oh, what about your little map analysis? Oh, it's gone a long way, okay? So it's more about me than it does about you. And some of those people that whinge and whine, they're actually from the bloody area, or they're just from the country, and you think, fucking hell, you plonker. Jesus, you're in no position to be talking. Embarrassing. Anyway, we look at least with this satellite imagery, the area seems to be mainly well maintained. Do we have any perspectives from the Red River? No, we don't. Shame there's no like imagery down there. It looks pretty dry. Let's just go on to Texas side. Are we in Texas, I think? To be honest, it looks all the same. Oh my God, what's happened to this road? All grainy, all grainy. Ew. But there's all the trees over that way. That's over there where we were from. I was hoping we could see like the river. Was it Red River or whatever it's called? But won't allow me to. Don't know how close we are to Watch Your Crazy, but hot or cold, I don't know how far. At least there's not been any false accusations of doxing in this case. Well, at least from the YouTube perspective, because to be honest, when it comes to supposed stalking or when it comes to supposed photos taken and some people being called out and etc, etc, revealing private information of people's locations, yeah, that's troublesome, problematic, isn't it? But that's happened elsewhere, supposedly, not on YouTube just yet. But I think on YouTube it's a bit quiet, but that's good. Not too many people fiddling with this case, not too many people harming the case, at least on YouTube. That's positive. Could be a bit disruptive elsewhere, but if you can contain it in a singular spot, that's better. It's when it starts spreading, that's an issue. Just like when false claims are made about me, how it can spread, it needs to be eliminated, cleared up as soon as possible. For more information on that, check my earlier video out, top right corner of the screen where the I symbol is. So now, whilst we looked at these areas, the grass, the fields, if it's of interest towards you, the ponds, let me know your thoughts down below. Any interest, any correlation to the case? Not so much Noah's body, because he was found on the highway, but if he was killed in a spot like this, or if he wandered off, take in mind there are fence lines, there is barbed wire. Is he likely to climb over it? Probably not. But let me just suggest something, and it's not guaranteed, but when people talk about shredded fingertips or damage to the hand, if he was gripping something or caught it, at any point, would he have climbed over barbed wire? Well, if he did, and he catched his hand on it, surely his legs would have been scraped up as well if you were climbing over barbed wire, especially with Noah wearing shorts to be visible marked, but that didn't seem to be the case there, so it's probably unlikely. Now, the only other thing I want to mention, right, shredded fingerprints, fingers shredded, worn down to the bone, almost exposed. That sounds pretty brutal. Intense friction, gripping onto something tightly, and something being ripped out the hand, maybe. But my question is, how come when I looked at the official autopsy report, which stated all the other injuries which people agree with and have heard before, how come that one not as significant, not as fatal injury sustained, the shredded hands, why wasn't that mentioned on the autopsy then? I did not see it. Did you? Oh, it's been talked in the background, it's been mentioned by other people. Yeah, but why is it not on the official documents? That's where it should be first and foremost, right? If the likes of the scalp, right, a very serious injury, extreme trauma to the head, if that can be publicly talked about and shown on an official report, then I'm sure some bloody shredded fingertips or hands could be included as well. But they weren't. So does that mean it's a lie? It's misinformation, a mistake, a misunderstanding? Who's in the wrong about it? Either Noah had shredded hands, fingers, or not. One or the other. The official documents autopsy doesn't mention it, but in the community online, it is being talked about. So why was it not included? Does anyone have an answer? That's what I'd like to know. Now, as for the footage, we're not talking about the hidden footage at the highway area. No. We're not talking about the hidden footage of other bits. It's just more so the Snapchat stuff, whether that be Noah Presgrove with his shorts, whether it be what we recently saw, the Snapchat of the timeline at, 5:27 a.m. in which there's supposedly a party girl, one of the guys who was supposed to be with Caden Pressey at the highway by 5:20 a.m. and by 5:27, he's still at the party house. Well, Caden said that he was told to leave at 5:30. It's not that far away in time, but still, to get from point A to point B, maybe it's a bit of a problem. Okay, timestamp was provided. 5:27. Shows the guy there at the party house, messing about, lying back, pretending to sleep or relaxing with some girls. Okay, well, it makes sense with the girls because supposedly how Caden originally said it was when Jack went back to the highway after alerting people at the party house at 5:15. Jack, Brylan, Mikey, Isaac got ready, got into the red Cherokee of his and drove down to the highway by 5:20 and arrived. Now, out of those three guys, Mikey, Brylan and Isaac, which are the ones supposedly remained at the party house, which this Snapchat is being claimed at 5:27 a.m. when Caden was at the highway with the other two individuals? What was the third guy doing? Why does Caden say that third guy was with him at the highway when supposedly this Snapchat says otherwise? That third guy was actually at the house and never left. How does that make sense? Bit odd. But have we actually seen the photo of it to prove it? No. Have we seen the timestamp provided? Yes. Can it be altered with? From the looks of it and what people have said? Absolutely. All I would like to see is just the bloody photo or the video. But if it's that sensitive that it can't be shown, that's interesting. But, you know, you think of the hidden recorded footage at the highway, you could possibly understand that as to why it can't be shown. Maybe legal reasons, because it's too sensitive, too gory, insensitive. It could, you know, if it captures anyone doing any, like, incriminating stuff, breaking any laws, tampering with the body, anything bad, caught in the act, maybe it can't be shown publicly at this moment in time. But it could be used in the case later, and if it goes to court, if it ever got to that point, and if it was treated as a crime truly, then maybe it could be used, but it just can't be used publicly yet, and it may never be. Okay, I kind of understand that, fair enough. But in terms of just some simple Snapchat footage of the party before or after or ongoing, and it can't be shown, why is that? So there's supposedly Snapchat footage of the side-by-side tipping over. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, no one got hurt? It didn't lead to Noah's death? Then why can't it be shown publicly then? Why can't it be shown public? Is it that hard, that difficult? Has anyone watching, anyone from any community, have you seen that side-by-side footage tipping over with Noah inside of it? And if you have seen it, how, where, and when? And why is it not public? Or was it public and then it was taken away, retracted? But why? The same with the shower, okay? Supposedly there's footage of Noah having a shower, being washed or washing himself. Has anyone seen it? Was it bad? Was it dodgy, incriminating, or just normal? And has it ever been released publicly? Or was it only temporarily? What's the whole point in supposed footage being out there which could help the case, help the timeline, but people keep teasing it? Oh yeah, it does exist. Oh yeah, it is out there, but we're not revealing it. But why can't it be revealed? Is it because of legal reasons? I can understand that hidden footage because it's at the time of the dead body, supposedly, and possibly tampering with evidence. I get all that. But everything before that, before the death, which could lead up, which may be significant or insignificant, why can't that be shown? You think of that compilation of party footage, what we saw. It was only a very small portion, wasn't it? What about the rest? The side-by-side, the shower situation, any arguments? And why is it only from Noah's point of view? You know, the cameras are on Noah directly or in the background. The only two occasions where Noah wasn't really within it was from Caden Pressey's point of view, sat in a chair, the living room, aiming the camera towards the kitchen area where they all were, or most were gathering. And where else? Mikey and Brylan recorded themselves, saying, oh, look who we've got here. We've got Mike Tyson. Okay. But everything else seemed to include Noah Presgrove. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably very limited. Out of all the party footage, what we've seen, okay, that little compilation, at not one point did I think, wow, there's 30 to 40 people present. Not at any point. You don't see it crowded. You don't see it. But there was that many people there. Where were they then? Oh, some were inside of the house, others were outside. So you're saying that when it got to inside of the house, the rest went back out? What the hell is going on? I don't see 30 to 40 people. Does anyone count 30 to 40 people at the party through the footage or photos, what we've seen? I don't personally, but maybe you do. You can let me know your thoughts down below. Right? But if certain footage can be shown, right? If footage can be shown of Noah's body, you know, when he was alive, his back area, his upper bottom area being written on by girls, and even being slapped without consent, from the looks of it, at least by Shandy. If that can be shown publicly, right, with the exception of the bottom being censored, you know, because of, what do you call it, sensitive media or so, they don't want, like, nudity or something, okay. Well, that can be shown, can't it? It's just blurred out, the key areas. Well, that could apply to the shower situation. If it's not a big deal, okay, there's nothing deep about it, the shower situation, it was just a shower, a part of the timeline because he needed to clean off, then it might as well be shown. But censored, of course, because obviously if someone's having a wash, they're not going to be wearing clothes, and do you really want that put out there publicly? Not really. I can understand that element, the privacy, but, you know, if it could be censored in some way. It's like when you get on news reports, a dead body or someone getting shot, they'll show it, but they might just blur out the bit where they get shot or the gore element. So they'll still show a level of it. Shower situation, the side-by-side, that doesn't need to be blurred or censored. Why can't that be shown? Oh, is it because that footage doesn't exist? It just doesn't exist out there? Maybe. But if people are going to talk and talk and talk, they need to provide it with the supposed evidence in the background. And others like, well, no. You can't have it both ways, can you? But people want it like that. So how much more Snapchat footage or however else it was recorded, how much more party footage is out there but hasn't been revealed public or hasn't been brought back publicly since? Does anyone know? How much of the jigsaw puzzle are we missing? I'm not talking about the case overall, I'm talking about the party footage. And I'm not talking about the deleted footage at the time of the party or the supposed factory resetting of phones. I'm talking about all the videos which are claimed to still be there in the background right now, and as well the footage which people may have seen from the Noah Presgrove's Army page at some point with time, and that doesn't include the hidden recorded footage on the highway. I'm talking about the party specifically. Out of 100%, how much of the party footage have we actually seen? Right? And I'm not talking about the percentage of footage that's been deleted since. Not quite. What's the percentage of footage which hasn't been shown publicly or remained public since? And maybe only a small glimpse people have seen. Whether that be the shower, whether that be the side-by-side. Things like that, or any arguments in between, or no wandering off. Does it capture anything? I think Justin Roy said there's supposedly a doorbell camera on the party house. Well, that's just a very convenient place to be able to capture anyone that comes and goes from the party and walks away. Because if you was to leave the party house, you would have to be going east towards the highway. You go south, north, east. No, if you go west, you're going into the woodland area. You're going in the middle of nowhere to the point of crossing Red River. Not going to work. Oh. What else? You go north? Not quite. You're going across fields and barbed wire and then that quarry area. You go south, same thing there. You'd have to go, well, you can only go east to the highway on foot or normally by vehicle, and that's mainly it. So Noah only had so many choices in terms of the directions where he could go and cool off. Could Noah Presgrove have cooled off at any point by going and visiting any of the buildings nearby? Would he have access to them though? Were they locked or not? Okay? Because it's okay. People in the background and those in the case saying, "Oh yeah, Noah wandered off. It's normally happens, and you know he did wander off. Eventually found him." Okay. When did you find him? What time? Where was he? Why is that important to know? Because wherever he wandered off to, that's if he did wander off in the first place. That spot, that location, could that have been the same spot he wandered off back to afterwards at 3:30 in the morning of Monday? Are there any places familiar with Noah where he would hang out or go to at the party or throughout the weekend? Just to try and understand where he could have gone and where something bad could have happened to him. We've seen a few levels of concealment and blind spots because of the trees and vegetation. That could play a role, possibly. The other factor is, if you've got majority of people inside the party house and loud music is playing, it's going to blur out what's going on outside. If there's any screaming or arguments, that's worth taking into consideration. But yeah, they're just the thoughts I wanted to add in. Obviously, for those that may have watched earlier on, if you're still around, there's like light-hearted voices and stuff, completely unrelated, whatever. But I said we're going to lock in, and that's exactly what we've done today. Just sharing with you my additional thoughts on everything. It's like a bulk video. I might even rename it like that or so. We'll see how it goes. I don't expect this video to get that much reach. I don't expect that many people to watch it, mainly because I did a video earlier and I think YouTube is probably going to punish me, okay? Now, I could have saved this video for tomorrow, but then I would have broken the promise because I did say that with my earlier video, whilst it was kind of taken away from the case because I had to defend myself, so time was wasted, I was still going to make up for it by doing a focus video as of right now. And I said what I was going to set out and did, and that's what I've done. So that's why I needed to do it, just to be consistent and keep up with it. But tomorrow or the day after, I'll try and do another video, different direction or a different theme and topic. We'll just see where things are at, because you never know what's around the corner. But I hope you found this video somewhat interesting. Maybe you heard some points never mentioned before. You can leave all your thoughts and comments down below under this video. That helps with awareness. It helps with spreading awareness of this video. If you do want to like and share, that would be much appreciated. And shout out to those that have supported the channel recently and contributed with comments and answering questions patiently. That's all good to see. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Goodbye for now.